Hey everyone, I'm Pacific the Casual Gamer, and welcome back to another YouTube video. And today, I would like to tell you guys how Sledge plays differently, the difference between a 5-stack and a solo queue. And it's actually kind of, more as you think about it, you'd think he plays the same, but he actually plays very differently. So, we're going to start with the 5-stack, right? The kind of one that everyone understands. Sledge goes above people. I mean, that's most of the time what he does. Sometimes you see him take out castle barricades, utility like Malusi's, if that's not banned, I said castles, deployable shields, that sort of thing, right? And he's kind of like just eliminates utility and the ceiling out of people. That's what Sledge does. And then he's kind of a flexible operator, so he can go get kills, right? That's generally how you see Sledge played in a 5-stack. Now, it's easier to play Sledge in a 5-stack for sure, because when you have things like, okay, I got 2 frags, where am I going to get rid of them, right? Because let's say the enemy team brings them a Lucy, and they bring a Goyo, and they bring a castle, right? What do? And a Maestro, like, if they just so happen to do that. So, you got to pick where you're going to put it. But I think what's really interesting is when you bring Sledge into the solo queue section. So you have all the versatility, but a lot of the times you don't actually play vertically as Sledge. It's sort of because you're not playing with your teammates, you're not coordinated, maybe you don't have the strategy. Unless you're playing with people that are a default, let's take the top and we know what we're doing, most of the time you don't see Sledge above. And if you do see Sledge above, he's all alone, right? You guys all know about that, where let's say a classic example of this is you play Coastline on Kitchen, and there's some Sledge above in VIP smacking the floor, and you go up there and kill him, and he's the only one up there, or you're Sledge, and you have to do that by yourself because the rest of your teammates are doing their own solo queue thing, right? That's how Sledge plays out. And it kind of sucks because Sledge is an operator that can really do a lot, and you really have to pick what you're doing. My experiences also is that, especially solo queuing, right? When you solo queue, I feel like you tend to run into more of the solo queuers, is you come up with a plan, and you only use Sledge once, right? An example of this actually was a Coastline game I played where they wanted to open a door and push through. And so I opened the door and pushed through, and then it's like, well, what do we do next if it doesn't work? The answer is you got to figure it out by yourself. Then you kind of go back to, like my video with Maverick, where you just kind of have to do your own thing and come up with your own game plan. What's really nice, though, about Sledge in a solo queue and 5-stack environment is if you smack the ceiling off, you actually get eyes into the objective. You can see what's going on. You can figure stuff out faster. And that's what's really awesome about Sledge. I really like Sledge as a solo queue operator because he can get that little bit of intel from the ceiling, assuming you don't get blown up by a pre-placed or someone doesn't chuck a C4 up there. But most of the time, I feel like at least where I play, a lot of people don't do that. And if they do chuck a C4, it's like 10 seconds, you're gone doing your own thing. But, I mean, that's kind of how I generally see Sledge being played. 5-stack, very, very, I wouldn't say much more simpler. I would say Sledge's versatility is really shown when you play in a 5-stack. Like I said before, ceilings, flank watch. You could entry frag with Sledge. I really don't see why you couldn't do that. You get all of these things out of them. When you solo queue, his versatility is shown, but in a different way. That didn't work, I can try this with Sledge. That didn't work, I can also try this with Sledge. That didn't work, I can also try this with Sledge. And I feel like if you play Sledge as a solo queue, you tend to not hop off of Sledge unless a bunch of rounds have gone by and all of your tactics with Sledge haven't worked. But yeah, and like I said before, Sledge, his versatility can still be used in, a solo queue. Someone could say, hey, there's a Malusi or a Maestro cam over here and I need to take it out. And you can hop on comms and be like, yo, I got a frag. I'm going to do that. And generally when I play in a 5-stack, the frags are used, I feel like, a little bit more earlier than when I solo queue. When I solo queue, I kind of save those frags in case someone else needs them or I need them. I tend to actually use those frags more in solo queue for fragging people rather than destroying utility. Whereas in a 5-stack, I'm going to use that to get rid of, most of the time it's deployable shields that we know are Goyas, or Maestro cams that are out in the open and too far away from me, you know? But a lot of times I save those frags because in a 5-stack, it's pretty easy to figure out where all the Jaeger ADSs are. People call them out, burn them. In solo queue, it's very rare that you're going to find someone that says, hey, I'm going to burn this ADS. I feel like I've never actually played a solo queue before where someone burns an ADS and calls it out. Not even me when I play someone with flashbangs. I never call it out. I usually actually, as a solo queue or as Hibana, I usually die with all 3 of my flashbangs because I save them and I don't use them because I forget about them. But yeah, getting back onto Sledge, I really feel like his frag grenades are more used in the later part of the round rather than earlier, like in a 5-stack. And a 5-stack, I'm not saying that you're never going to use frags early on in the round. Later, you know, a 5-stack, you could use it last 10 seconds, right? But I feel like most of the time in a 5-stack, more often than not, you get rid of shields and with the lone, you kill people with them. That's pretty much how it is. But guys, I somehow managed to talk about Sledge, the most simple, versatile operator in this freaking game. I don't know. Let me know about your thoughts in the comment below. What are your experiences playing Sledge to 5-stack versus solo queue? Is it similar to mine? I'm kind of interested with the frag grenade part because I feel like I see that a lot, is frags being used at the end of a round. So, but yeah, I'm Pacific the Casual Gamer. I suck just as bad as you do at video games, and I'll see you guys in the next one.